Girls, cars, and whiskey. Never dare step in the way of a man hell-bent on making pay for girls, cars, and whiskey. Howdy music lovers, Tom from Blakgraz here on a sleepy Tuesday early day. We are still in, where are we? Bulverde, right?
Did the bourbon and whiskey get to you?
Yeah, we're still at Chaplin, I'm not sure. I'm going to figure that out today.
L-I-N-E.
Distillery in Bulverde. We had a great day yesterday and a great night and got some great content out of that. I hope you enjoyed that video. Today we just wanted to do kind of a general update. Also, I wanted to thank our road manager Hannah for making her catio. Instead of a cameo appearance, she's making catio appearances. That's what cats do. And she has been trying to stay warm. It's been kind of cold here in Texas. And so we've been running the heater more, and she's been doing a lot more snuggling.
That's her warm seat, and Daddy was trying to steal it. So.
Yeah, and in fact, if you catch one of the shorts that Martha got earlier when I had my sweater on, she was all curled up in my arms trying to get warm. She had a full belly, and all of her blood was going to digesting her food, which made her feel a little more chilly than usual. But anyway, that was what I was just playing, was the parts of my song Girls, Cars, and Whiskey, which interestingly enough has a kind of funny story behind it. I wrote that song for a couple different reasons. First, to see if I could do it, if I could write a hardcore country song. I hadn't written a whole lot of country songs before that. I had stuff like Stay that sounded kind of southern rock, but it wasn't really hardcore country. And then I had another song called Kisses That You Steal. Which definitely has a country feel to it, but it wasn't me trying to be country. It was actually me trying to play a 3/4 beat with a different accent on it. If you notice, it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it was kind of more on the progressive side. I was trying to mess with rhythm more than trying to sound like country, but it came out country because the chorus is Kisses That You Steal. So it's all about, well, I'm not warmed up. Let's try that again. It's all about the way she makes me feel. It's all about the kisses that you steal. The kisses that you steal. The kisses that you steal. That's what it sounds like when you wake up and start singing right away. And don't warm up.
I'd say didn't you write Back to Comfort before Girls, Cars, and Whiskey?
No, Girls, Cars, and Whiskey came first. And so Girls, Cars, and Whiskey was a response to a Texas tradition that we discovered. I don't know if this is actually a tradition, but every place we went, every time we'd go to see somebody play in Texas, they'd be singing songs about whiskey, being drunk on whiskey, being blind on whiskey, going to jail because of whiskey, losing their girl because of whiskey. I thought, oh, must be a Texas tradition to have a song with the word whiskey in it. So I wrote Girls, Cars, and Whiskey. Girls, cars, and whiskey. So it started kind of like, can I even do this? Can I get away with this and not have people throw stuff at me? And now it's turned into one of my more popular songs at shows and online. Apparently some of the videos are starting to get played.
The song lyric video, which was one of the first ones I put up, it's over 150,000, 150 views.
150 views.
Compared to some of the other music lyric videos. But I mean, we're still new and I'm trying to get at least one in a week.
Right.
I'm not doing them because we're doing this more often for people to see behind the scenes. So
for us, that's a big deal. 150, most of y'all, if you're watching this, you're probably thinking 150, that's like nothing.
Well, I would say, what's today? I think today's the 20th of January, 2026. So a year from now, let's see how far that...
Right.
How many views?
How many views it is a year from now. But, you know, for us, that's a big deal. In fact, anybody watching this stuff is a big deal to us. So it's kind of exciting to think that people are enjoying that song. But also, when I play it live, it's become one of my drinking songs. So every time I say the word whiskey, the game is that people have to take a sip of their drink, right? Well, in the song, it says it at least 50 times. So needless to say, especially if you're at Chaplain Distillery drinking bourbon or whiskey, you're going to be done by the end of the song. So that
even if it's a mixed drink or a beer, you're going to have finished that drink by the end of it.
Yeah. Or, you know, you won't be able to see straight.
Yeah.
So that is a really good example of writing songs and never knowing what's going to happen or who is going to enjoy a song. You know, here's another good example. We just got this wonderful comment from this fella online.
On YouTube, who
liked Heaven Help Us. He likes the clips of Heaven Help Us.
He actually saw them, if I'm not mistaken, he saw the song lyric video first.
Maybe, yeah.
And then he saw one of the shorts about it.
Really cool, laid-back tune, you know. There's just no telling what it is I should do. It ain't drop, but I know there's a shoe. Looking up to find down. Clowns running around. It seems the animals are running the zoo. So you can see it, you know, it's kind of like got that, almost like that Southern rock 70s kind of stroll along the road type of feel, hitchhiking down the road type of thing, you know. Almost a little bit Bob Dylan-ish. I was thinking that when I first decided how I was going to sing that song. But also a very much a tip of the hat to Steelers' Wheel, the song Stuck in the Middle, if you know that tune. So if you're not familiar with it, watch the movie Reservoir Dogs. It has that in there in the ear scene.
Isn't that a Quentin Tarantino?
Yeah, it is.
It's like one of his early on ones. I just remember seeing all the blood. It's like, oh, okay, that's what he's about.
That was his breakout.
Actually. Okay, that's what it was. I wasn't sure.
Got him a name. So that's just basically another good example of how I write these songs because I think I'll have fun playing them. I like the way they sound. And now, actually, for a long while now, I should say, actually, I've been writing to shape the show a certain way. I know I need an opener. I know I need this type of song. I know I need something to close with. I need something if people are dancing more. I need to keep them dancing. I need more if they like country. I need to get some more country songs, and so I'll write
country, bluegrass, certain genres that blend together a little bit better over other ones.
Yeah. So now my thought isn't just about the single song, right? It's obviously I write because I just can't help myself. I've got way too many songs, but I also have in my mind how is an audience going to respond to this as a song, and then where am I going to fit it in the show, right? What would it go with? Because I'm always looking to refine and improve and script the show better to keep people's attention a stronger grab on them. And a good example of that is Seeking Glory. You know, that song that's that it's kind of like a cross between bluegrass and gospel lyrics and a dance beat. I use that as my show opener because it's almost like, you know, sherbet between entrees. It cleans the palate. So when I set up in a place and I've never been there before. People don't know who I am. And this just happened at Almost Ice House in Seguin just last weekend.
Okay.
Nobody knows me. They see us drive up in this big camper and they're like, what the heck is going on? So they're not sure. And then they see me set up and they find out that I'm only one guy, right? So they think I'm just going to be this all night.
Well, until they see all the guitars on the stage.
That doesn't always connect, though. It doesn't always
true.
make a connection, right? They don't know what that stuff does. So you set up, and then they're listening to their favorite songs, you know, all of whatever their favorite stuff is that gets played in that bar, and that's why they hang out there. That creates the atmosphere that they like. The music in the background, their friends talking to them, all the sounds and experience that they're used to. So the biggest challenge for a good show to grab people's attention is to make them forget everything they know on the first drop, on the first beat, not by the end of the first song, in the first 15 seconds, right? And that sets the tone for the whole show. And so what better way to clear people's minds, to clean their palates at the beginning of a show that they've never seen before than to do something that starts with like a house electronic techno dance beat, right? And they're like,
even in the country, they're kind of like, what
in
the
a
heck?
country bar or in a rock bar, what the heck is that? And I'm going on acoustic, so they know I'm playing. And then I start this. You go into that, people's heads spin around. What? And people come looking around the corner. People literally almost stopped what they were doing. Bartenders, what is that? Started pulling out their phones and videotaping. Now what I've done, I haven't just grabbed their attention. I have completely wiped everything that they are familiar with out of their mind. And they are open to absorbing what I'm about to give them, right? So that's one of the secrets of building a good show. For the song, it's the song, and I've said this a million times. So you extend that to the idea of the show. For the show, a hit show, the show. So you got to practice where you put things, and you have to experiment with how you script things, what you say in between songs, which songs fit best together, where and when you should play them. And the room is always different. So you got basically chunks of songs that you use over here for this type of crowd, or chunks of songs that you use over here for this type of crowd, or as the evening goes on, you wind up the energy more to the end, this way. If it's a dinner crowd, well then you're playing more of your slow stuff and you're playing this, and you come up a little bit but not too much, and you shape the show differently. It can still grab their attention though, even if it's a quieter place, right? So anyway, that causes me to write songs that I imagine people will enjoy, right? I hope that people will enjoy them as much as I do. In fact, a good example is this song that I'm just in the middle of putting down a new backing track for this song called Girly, which is going to be another techno bluegrass type of song. Now, it's not gospel lyrics. It's going to be more like regular lyrics about this young lady this fella's infatuated with, right? But it's going to be fast, and it's going to be bluegrass, and it's going to be all acoustic with a dance beat. And I absolutely am certain, just because of the experience that I've had now with so many states and so many towns and so many crowds, when I play this tune, people's heads are going to spin around. So now, that leads me very nicely to a wonderful comment that I got from a fella online too. Somebody who's a working musician, plays in a cover band, and they go and they do originals occasionally. And he said that, you know, I was talking about how playing all originals has been...
What you've learned, it was ultimately the short. What I've learned by being a touring musician is that people everywhere are tired of hearing the same songs.
Right, and his comment was, that's not my experience as an original band who plays covers also.
Yeah, I think they alternate. I don't know if they have enough originals. He didn't clarify for like an entire show or not. So I mean,
Well, I replied and I shared, the stuff that I've experienced on the road and what I've found. So maybe if he's watching, maybe this will help explain in more detail what I was talking about. I used to feel that way. I used to think that way. In fact, I used to insist that I had to do covers to get people to pay attention to my originals until Texas. When Texas hit and we came here years ago and I started playing at Chris Madrid's, they didn't want any covers because they didn't want to have to pay the licensing. Now I know if you watched our older videos, you know this story. BMI and ASCAP and all them, they were trying to charge them 10 grand a year to have bands, and they're already paying licensing for the music that's coming through in their speakers. So now they're trying to, roll them over the barrel for some extra cash. I mean, come on, guys. They did me a huge favor because then they said, no, we're not going to pay the 10 grand. We're going to bring in this guy. He plays all original material and he's not registered with you. And I'm not, because I just think they're basically like a mafia now. They go around running people out of business is what they're doing. They'll sue them, take them to court, run them through the ringer, and then shut them down. That's not helping the economy. It's not helping musicians. It certainly doesn't help local businesses. So as far as I'm concerned, them sitting in some corporate office making calls and sending out letters threatening people, you can just take a hike as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, so I started playing at Chris Madrid's and I started having to get more songs because I was playing to every demographic. I was playing to young kids all the way to grandparents and people having their anniversary and doing weddings and birthday parties at Chris Madrid's. And there's 300 to 500 people coming through every 2 or 3 hours when I was playing there. So I started writing all different types of songs because from my years of experience playing covers, I knew what styles and types of beats and song story types people respond to the most. If you are a cover band, you can do the same thing. You know which songs in your cover set list are the most popular songs. Why not take that song and write something that's similar to it, but yours, but different? I mean, that's what every good artist does anyway. There is nothing new under the sun. We are just repeating notes, chords, arrangements, words. And I'm not saying that there aren't people who are really unique and have a different sound that maybe has not been heard before, but they're still using the same notes. They're still singing the same words. They're still singing about the same type of stories, right? Oh, I'm getting real passionate today.
Well, I'd add too, it's not hard to stand out too. I mean, even if you were just acoustic on stage with your backing tracks, you're not just strumming like a lot of artists. So a lot of people, when they see an acoustic artist on stage, they're strumming and doing chords. Whereas in like the Bluegrass and other songs that you're doing, whether electric or acoustic, you're hitting individual notes. You're not just going for the rhythm side of the song with a few extra little maybe here or there. The way that you're playing is purposeful. You're playing lead and rhythm at the same time, especially on acoustic.
Yeah. So I really appreciate what you're saying, but that's only one small element of the entire show.
Oh, I agree.
However, it is a really important point, and I'll tell you why, because a lot of folks don't practice their skill. They don't really practice getting better as a singer or getting better as a guitar player. I mean, there's a lot of work I need to do, or even more work that I need to do, because I'm not happy with the level I think I can get to, right? Although I'm way more confident than I've ever been in my life. I have more confidence in what I'm doing because just I've seen people respond to what I'm doing. And that builds you up. But I know there are guys who've been doing it way longer than me and are far better vocalists, far better guitar players, maybe even better songwriters. But nobody can do Blakgraz like I can. Nobody can do me like I do. And so I always work on just making myself better. So one of the things about shaping a show is adding all the different elements that a good show would have to keep people's attention. Are you a good singer? Are you a good instrumentalist? Are you a good MC, master of ceremonies? Are you good at talking to the crowd and engaging them? Do you have any funny lines, just even as quick quip, just things to throw out that get people to laugh and kind of start to like you, right? Every good speaker who gives a speech almost always starts with a small joke. Why? Because it makes people relax and laugh, and then now they feel like they can identify with you, right? They kind of like you. They like your personality. Oh, he's got a good sense of humor. All right, I'll listen to him. What's he got to say, right? You do that in between songs occasionally too, not a comedy routine. You just like something funny and then you get back to the music, or a side comment and back to the music. Other things that shows, good shows, watch a Vegas style show, watch Cirque du Soleil, watch Elvis Presley, watch Barry Manilow, Prince. You don't have to play their style of music, but look at how the show is shaped. Look at how the songs flow, and the energy continues throughout until the show is over. How it first starts and how it ends. Look at how things are timed. Look at where they stand on stage. What are they doing during certain parts? Are they holding up their instruments? What are they doing visually? See, a show isn't just about playing a song. A show is about every element, everything. Are you getting people to sing with you? Are you telling them, sing along? How are you dressing? What do you look like? Are you smiling? Are you looking at them? See, these are all tricks that I learned when I first went on the road with this Vegas style show band long time ago, when I actually worked as in the house band for this 4 Caesar Pocono resorts up in Pennsylvania for a long time. And it was like being in the military, right? It was not on the road partying, having fun and being a rock star. It was like being in the military. You made a mistake, you got docked $50. And when you're only making $200 for the week, you don't eat for a while. But basically, the point is that it was a disciplined thing. I had to practice day and night, every day, because I didn't want to make a mistake. I didn't want to mess up. We were dressed a certain way. We kept our clothes clean, our shoes shine. When we set up the stage, it was pristine. Cables were taped down because you can't trip over a cable on stage. Everything was lined up and easy to find where it needed to be. This needs to be over here for when he has this song. He comes over, he grabs that. He comes over, gets his horn. This guy comes over, switches to this keyboard. All this movement on stage has to be scripted and blocked, just like a play, just like a ballet, just like an orchestra. It has to be a show, and it has to flow smoothly. And I guess, this is really what I intended to do with this video. I didn't mean to go into this much detail about it, but that's the biggest thing I think that a lot of modern acts
are lacking.
Even big acts are missing, right? Which is why record companies pay so much for people to design a show, script the show, build a show. We've got the songs. Here's our artist. Here are their hits. These are their best songs. Put a show together. What's it going to look like? Which songs are going to get sung where? Now, here's the other thing too. When you script your songs in the order that you want them, are you giving the artist time to warm up vocally, to warm up playing wise? The hardest thing about Seeking Glory is it plays this lick and I haven't warmed up yet. I've just got to start cold. But I did that to myself on purpose. I wanted to see if I could do it. So that means that before a show, the day of, early day like today, I pull out the guitar and I just start warming up.
Serenading Hannah.
Yeah.
As she sleeps.
So I've got to get ready for the night all through the day. I'll start warming up my vocals when I'm, cleaning up, doing a shower or whatever, and getting the camper ready to move. I'll sing a few songs while I'm practicing guitar. I'll run scales and stuff just to make sure I'm working on bad habits, fixing them. So I'm always working on getting ready for the show. All those things are part of what make a show work. All those things are part of what, and I'm addressing that fella that made that comment now about the cover band and original, not his experience. All of those things are what make it possible for you to go out and play an all original show and make way more money than you would playing covers. And here's another thing to keep in mind. we got to see our dear friend Sabrina Estevez. She's Sabrina's with the Blue Feather Band. It's her original material. She does covers too, like you. Really great talent. And I told her how much we're getting paid on the road, all these different states. And she's like, oh my gosh, that's great that you're getting that much. And it's even more amazing that you're willing to share that with me. Well, why wouldn't I? Oh, well, you know, she said, all the musicians around here, they don't like to tell what they're getting paid because, you know, we're all competition. I don't have any competition. There is nobody else on the planet doing Blakgraz, right? So just imagine now, if you actually have made it this far through the video and you've listened to all these different ideas, and if you have questions, you comment or you directly contact me, and I'm happy to answer best I can anyway. Imagine if you take this information and you shape your show as an original band to be a blockbuster show with blockbuster songs. Every song has to be strong. So that's the catch, right? Every song. I've got 113 published, and I've got probably like 20 now that are not published. About 6 to 8 of them I play live because I'm testing them and I want to finish recording them soon. And then I've got about another 10 or so that are not even recorded as backing tracks. This new one, Girly, will be ready soon. You've got to test your songs first. Make sure they're strong in front of audiences. And once you see that people respond in the different way you write and the different styles that you write, then you start to build out your show. Then once you have enough originals, you put that show together, even if it's just 1 hour. Just 1 solid hour of all original stuff. 1 solid hour with a strong beginning, a really fun up and down in the middle, and a very strong ending. And next thing you know, you're not going to be playing covers ever again. That is exactly how it works. Because you have no competition now. You could talk about what you make all day long. Why? Because nobody else is doing what you're going to be doing. Nobody else is you. Right? The trick is each song has to stand on its own so that your show as a whole can stand on its own. Right? I guarantee you, because this is what I have experienced firsthand for the last 1.5 years, coming on 2 years in June, it'll be 2 years. Once you start with a song like Seeking Glory and you go in and each song after that is just as strong as the other, they won't care if you play a cover song. In fact, at Almost, again, this last weekend, this fella Jay and his beautiful wife Lori, Jay looked at me at the end of about, I don't know, I got done with about 10 different songs, and he looked at me, and he's a guitar player. He said, "You don't have a single song that sucks." And I said, "Jay, thank you so much, but you haven't heard everything yet."
Well, I would add too, with all of it, it's the song, the show. You write because you love it. You play because you love it, and the intention behind sharing music with other people. We also treat it as our livelihood. Like, yes, here we have the video of us showing us on a Monday, being a little silly, having some drinking, which we do maybe 2-3 times a year, but we're never doing it a day two before a show, the day of, and the days after. Especially when we have 2, 3, 4, 5 shows in a row. This is a business. We treat it as we respect the establishment, the owners, the staff, their patrons, because we're here to put on the best experience, or you're here to put on because I'm in the back end, the best experience for them, so that way their place becomes the place to be talked about by their regulars, as well as when people like now seeing this online. This is a place to go, not just because we're there, but this is how we treat them with respect, and that's why people want us back. And I mean, there's the show, but then, I mean, everybody has commented, man, the way he talks and interacts. I mean, most of the owners love how much, even they're like, it's, there were only 20 people because it was cold out, but yet he talked to the crowd as if it's 5,000 people. They see the difference with your intent, the energy, and what you do too. And anybody can do that, but in their own way. Right.
Always make it your way. And she booked us immediately as soon as I was done. First thing out of her mouth, the owner, Ashley, came up and said, "What are you doing in February?" "I've got this big bash. I want you to come and play." One of her biggest events throughout the year, this crawfish event. she wants us to come back and play because she was so impressed with what we did. So, you know, and that comment there, what Jay said was probably one of the best things I've ever heard as a compliment. You don't have a single song that sucks. Now, you notice how I'm confident in what I'm saying, but I'm not arrogant, right? It's one thing to be confident about who I am and what I can do. It's another to diminish or demean others. What I'm saying to everyone who's watching this video is, you can do the same thing if you do it the way you do it, not the way I do it. You take those same elements and you plug and play and you put in your personality and your beliefs. And the comment that I made about, well, you haven't heard them all yet, that made him laugh, right? So there's that comedic thing, right? It wasn't a comedy show. It wasn't a long drawn out joke with a big build up. It was just a quick little quip, made him laugh, on to the next song, right? It made us connect, made me relatable. I'm not an arrogant jerk,
well,
right?
You reflect back on songs you've written, you're like, it's not a bad song, but what I've got now is better than where I was. So you're comparing yourself to where you were, not to other people. And that's a big component to it all too. That's
exactly right. Because there are times I'll listen back to older songs, I just wish, I wish I could re-record that. But I've tried that. I've tried going back to old songs and re-recording them, and they still come out the same, because that's who I was then, right? I'm different now. I'm somebody else now. So instead of doing that anymore, I just write new. I just write something new. And that's the best part, is that there's always a new song. Then you get to go out and test it. And I'll tell people too, hey, this song is a new song. This is going to be called, this one is all the way. You know, and I'll start playing the song, and I say, y'all are my guinea pigs. You tell me if you like it or if I should keep it by the end of this song. Every single time, at the end of the song, they're cheering, they're hooping and hollering, not just because it's a good song, because they feel important. They feel special.
Or some get up and start dancing.
Oh, all the time. People dancing and having fun and singing along. The point is, that's just another way to draw them in, to make them feel like they are there at that special moment, that you was the first time or one of the first times that you ever played that song, and you weren't even sure if you were going to keep it. And then they hear it and they think it's going to be a hit, and they'll get to tell everybody they know, I was there. You make them feel special and important. Why? Because they are. Because if you don't have them there, you have nothing. As a performer, as someone who writes and plays music, you have nothing if you don't have people coming and listening.
You don't have the audience.
You don't have an audience, what's the point? And there's a lot of guys, and I used to do this too. There were times where I just didn't want to play and I would just practice for myself. But after a while, it's like, what's the point? I remember specifically many years ago, this was when I still was working in the Poconos with that house band. I was practicing guitar 8 to 10 hours a day. And I was flying through scales, and I had the metronome going at like 160, and I'm flying through stuff, and I'm burning up like crazy. But I was just in the room doing it by myself. And I literally stopped one time, and I'm like, what's the point of all this? What's the point? I'm just here doing it myself, and it isn't what I can put in the show. The show band is very strict. You play it this way, like the record. You do like a tribute band, you know. Each song was exactly like the record, and it goes in this order, and the show is this, and you don't go off on all this other crazy stuff and all these different techniques and tapping and sweeping and all that. You play it that way. And I had to stop myself. I'm like, what the heck am I doing? I can do all this stuff, but nobody even knows. Nobody even knows. So there's another thing I've never talked about in videos about how I write. I have been on a mission for a long time to not only get better as a guitar player and a singer and a performer every day, but to be able to incorporate all these cool little tricks that I've learned over the years from other amazing guitar players. This is not stuff that I made up. I saw people do stuff and I thought, oh my gosh, that is amazing. I want to learn to do that. So over the years in all of my songs, I try to incorporate these really cool techniques of how to make the guitar sound different. These different little tricks, you know, just different bends. And, you know, here's a good one. This is something I've been struggling with for a while.
Q Vaughn saying, "Oh, you're a bender."
Yeah. Vaughn Shannon. Custom build, baby.
We get to see him this week. Get the guitars back.
Now, why did I play that whole solo? That's from Little Billy One Shoe. It's the solo in the middle where Billy is starting to actually learn how to play guitar appropriately. And in the background, you can hear me saying, "Oh, that was good. Oh, go on, Billy. Yeah, now you're starting to get it." It's all very simple. Nothing terribly fancy, right? Just a little bit different, right? This, right here. So I'm bending this note up, hitting this high note, grabbing this upper string. And what that does, this string comes up a half note and turns this into this chord, which is the B, the third and the fifth of the B. That is a bugger if you're not used to doing it. Now, if you're a country player, you probably do it all the time, right? The chicken picking and the Telecaster guys, they do that stuff in their sleep, right? Well, that's new for me, but I saw somebody do it and I'm like, oh, that is such a cool idea. Where can I put it in a song? Somebody trying to learn how to play guitar. And sure enough, the first few times I tried to do it in live setting, playing that song, it didn't always work. Which is just appropriate that in the song, this young kid Billy is trying to learn how to play. So anyway, and then the end solo is fast, you know. And he has mastered the guitar at that point. That's the point of the story. Anyway, the point is there's a lot more to what goes on in terms of writing a great song and then having enough great songs that you can build a great show. It isn't just the songs. There's stuff that happens before it, around it, inside of it, and then at the end of it. And then even afterwards. Really, if you've got an audience, well then the next part of the show is that you stay and you shake people's hands. I did that at Jerry's Juke Joint. Handed out picks, shook hands, smiled, got names, tried to remember names. There's so much that goes on to making a good show. Now, if any of y'all, say if you've made it this far through this video and you're really that interested in what we're doing and how to improve what you're doing, just send comments down below or send us a direct message. But thank you so much to everybody who's been making wonderful comments. That fella, even who, the cover band fella, you play as originals occasionally too. I hope this helped. I hope it explained kind of why I came back the way I did. I didn't come back to attack you or to prove you wrong. I was just sharing what I think is a lot of other musicians are missing. And thank you so much to that fella who is enjoying Heaven Help Us. That's a fun song and I love playing that tune. Also, thanks to my road manager here, Hannah, for sitting in with me today. Her catty-o instead of a cameo, her little catty-o. She's trying to get some beauty rest after filling her belly and stay warm. But a special thanks to all of y'all watching this video. I know this one is kind of long, but this is something I feel, if you can't tell, I feel very passionately about. I think that if more musicians approached it this way, not because I'm right, but just in general, that passion to build the best song possible that they can, the best show that possible that they can, they specifically their way, right? Then there would be no competition. We would never be in competition with each other. And there's more than enough audience in the world. There's 8 billion people in the world for all of us to have a really nice big following and enjoy what we do, right? So I'll stop there, or I'll just keep preaching on the soapbox for all day long. So if you could, please, if you enjoyed what you heard, make sure you like and subscribe. Check out the links down below. Remember, we got CDs for sale online too, and merch. And we, of course, have merch and handmade t-shirts and beer koozies, emotional support beverage koozies, for sale at each show. But the thing that's really most important to me is I hope that everybody who watches this video one day will get to come to a live show, and I will be able to meet you and shake your hand, look you in the eye, and thank you in person. All right, y'all. Take care, and thanks so much.